Hi. So I'm back. As I started thinking more about the kind of person I am, asking myself if what I've been doing is the right thing to do, if I should change anything, if I should add or take away, I came across the idea of getting to know myself more. And I don't know if you've all heard of the Enegram Personality Type Test. So there's 9 different personality types in this Enneagram test, and what I'm going to do today is kind of just like talk about these a little bit more. So I just want to document this as I got my results and shared who this test says that I am, or the personality types that it's giving or assigning me, and just kind of like talking about my thoughts. So I have some notes on here that I'm just going to reference because I took a few notes of the research I did. So the first type is the reformer, and the reformer is supposed to be a rational, idealistic type. And what that is supposed to mean is that that individual is purposeful, is self-controlled, sort of a perfectionist. Then the second personality type is the helper. So this is the caring and interpersonal type, which is supposed to it's supposed to be like the demonstrative type, the generous one, the people pleasing one, and also a bit of the possessive type. Then there's the achiever, which is a success oriented and pragmatic type. They are adaptive, excelling, driven, and image conscious. And then there's the individualistic type. So they are the sensitive and the withdrawn type. So these are supposed to be expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, and temperamental. Then there's also the investigator type. This one is supposed to be the like intense cerebral type. You'll probably hear my accent now and then, but okay, back to this. They are the perceptive, innovative, secretive, and a bit of isolated one. And then there's a loyalist. So they are the committed, the security oriented, they're engaging, responsive, anxious, and suspicious. And then there's the enthusiast. So these are the busy, fun-loving type. They're spontaneous, they're versatile, they're distractive, and a bit scattered. Then there's the challenger. The challenger is the powerful, the dominating type. They're self-confident, they're decisive, they're willful, and they're confrontational. And then the last one is the peacemaker. They're the easygoing, the self-effacing type. They're receptive, reasoning, agreeable, and complacent type. So I took this test. It's the one that I found was about like a 10-minute test. It was a free version online, and it gives you like a summary of the types that you, I guess, like fall into based on your responses to the questions they ask. So in order, I was the achiever, which is type 3, type 7, which is the enthusiast, and then type 2, which is the helper. And so I like started looking more into some of these, and I feel like without going into like a lot of research or definition, just like with the word, like the title of the personality, I started asking myself like, why did I fall into these ratings? And the one that I got 98%, which was the achiever. So again, that's the success-oriented, pragmatic, adaptive, excelling, driven, and image conscious. And I think what made me think like more into it with this one was the image conscious, because and we talked about this with my husband like a few days ago, like the idea of keeping an image that people have created of you, and sometimes being afraid to let go of that. So I feel like just growing up in my young adult years, I mean, even now, like I feel like I've developed in this way, and a lot of people see me in a certain light and they think that I am a certain kind of person, and I really like to be resourceful. I like to be helpful to people. So to me, it's very important to develop good relationships. It's really important to make sure that I'm being helpful to others. And if they think that I can help them in some way, I will do my best to help them in whatever way that I can. But I think that that image conscious really made me think about, do I stop myself from doing things because of the way that I am perceived? Do I stop myself from trying, new things, or from just making mistakes because of the fear that I would have, or that I have, of what people would say, or how people would see me, or how their idea would change about who I am? And I feel like I just went into a big hole where I asked myself, like, what am I not doing because of this fear? So I think this exercise, even, if it just made me think about the things that I thought were right, the things that I didn't think were right, or the things that maybe I didn't give too much attention to. I'm not saying that, this is like 100% for everyone. I mean, they draw the results based on how you answer the questions, right? I think it was just a really good exercise to do, to practice mindfulness and asking myself, wait, is that something that I haven't thought about that maybe I've been doing? So that's like a little bit on that rating, the achiever. I don't know, I'm just taking it in, and I'm being grateful for the information that I'm ingesting, for the things that I'm learning. Whether they make me happy or they don't, I feel like it's just good to listen to them. So the second one that I rated high on, which was a 93%, was the enthusiast. And that's a number 7. So the enthusiast, again, is someone who's busy, fun-loving. They're spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scattered. And I think for this one, I really did feel a little bit more connected to this one, because I like to have fun in as many situations as I can. Sometimes I like make jokes that I think are like funny just to myself, but then my husband laughs at them, and maybe it's because, I don't know, we live together, so we know each other's personality already. But sometimes I find myself really bringing light to situations. Like, I really try to make sure that everyone's involved, that everyone's having a good time around me. So I think that is a really good strength to have. I did think about the distractible and the scattered, because I feel like lately I have been a little bit more of that. Like, I sometimes get lost in just the routine of things I need to do every day, that I don't always focus on the big picture, and that backtracks my progress on goals or whatever it is that I'm working on. So this just made me think about the big picture and really analyze like what it is that I'm doing every single day to make sure that I'm working towards my goal, so that I don't become, scattered or distractible, and that I make sure that I stay on task, at least as much as I can, right? And then the other one that I rated high on, which was a 91%, was the helper. And the helper, again, is the carrying the let me see, helper, carrying the interpersonal type, who is demonstrative, generous, is sort of a people pleaser, and possessive. And I think in a way I felt connected to this one, because I am very caring, and I really, really like to be generous. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel like I enjoy giving more than receiving. Even when it comes to, like, I mean, we just passed Mother's Day, right? And I feel like I like to give more than receive. Even for like my birthday or like special locations, I feel sometimes really uncomfortable receiving gifts. I mean, I really appreciate them, especially if they come from family members or people that are close to me, I really appreciate them. But at the same time, I sort of feel guilty. It's this very weird feeling where I feel like, oh no, I'm receiving something and I don't have anything to give back. Even if it's like a time where like I'm not supposed to give anything, right? I just feel like there's something off. Like if I'm receiving something, I should be giving something in return. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a trauma or something, but it's just something that I've noticed more so, I think, with my relationship with my husband. I feel like I sometimes stop him from like giving me things, or I don't ask him for things because I like to give more than to ask or to receive for, which is kind of a bummer sometimes because I mean, there are times where I do like, maybe like an act of like care, or maybe like I don't know, just something that shows that what I'm bringing to like the family or to the environment is adding value. I don't know if it's like a thank you that I'm looking for, or like I don't know, just a moment of appreciation. But it's like this, I feel like in that subject I'm still a little bit confused. So hopefully me recording and like tracking this in the future will help me understand why it is that I'm thinking the way that I'm thinking right now. And maybe my thoughts will change in the future. Who knows? Maybe I'll turn into someone that really likes to get gifts. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, I'm glad I'm recording this for just the experience and to compare. So I also had my husband do the test, and it was very interesting. Maybe I'll have him in the future talk about what his ratings were. A lot of people that know us as a couple say that we're a good balance. We balance each other in terms of like skills and qualities, and what I lack in, he brings, and what he is working on, I, add with value to it. So I think it was really interesting because we definitely were not the same. We're not the same, but it's just like good to see it in this like test, or just like this perspective, and like analyze why, or analyze what the difference was, or it's just fun. So that was the test that we took, and it was really fun again, like I said. We've taken a few other ones. I like just to read about as much as I can. I can be like a book. I feel like I could be like a little bit overboard with the information that I ingest. I really like to read a lot. I like to listen to a lot of podcasts. I like to listen to a lot of just like journeys that people have been on, and like sharing what it's been like for them. So you'll probably hear like different kinds of topics on this platform. The content that comes from me, of like things that I'm interested in, things that have added value to my person or added value to those around me. This is one of these videos, like Enegram test. Not a lot of people do them. Some people are really into them, some are not, but I feel like it's just it was a really good exercise for me to do, to just kind of like get to know myself better, and one step closer to this journey, and it's what I'm doing in line with what I want to be doing forever, or what I want to be doing in the future, or even are there things that I'm lacking in right now that I can work on, or spend time researching, or spend time, learning about, so that I can add them to my bag of skills or strengths. So I think that's it for today. If you've taken an Enneagram test, it'd be really awesome if you shared with me what you got and what you think of, the test in general, or just if it made any sense with who you are as a person. And if you haven't taken it, try it out. Or if you want, your partner, your friends, your family members to take it, it's really fun to just kind of like talk about it, get to know each other a little bit better with a different perspective. So I hope that you have a really good rest of your time, day, evening, morning, whatever, wherever it is that you may be right now. But for now, take care.